Hey Jenny, you will not believe what just dropped today. Trump announced this thing called Stargate, and it's massive.
Okay, Mark, you've got my attention. Stargate? Sounds like something out of science fiction. What's the deal?
Right? I thought the same thing. So it's this joint venture with OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, and they're throwing in some serious cash to build out AI infrastructure here in the States. They're talking data centers, power generation, the whole 9 yards.
Wait, how much cash are we talking? Because serious could mean anything these days.
They're starting with $100 billion. Billion. With a B. And the plan is to potentially ramp that up to $500 billion. It's wild.
$500 billion? That's more than the GDP of some small countries. What's the goal here? What are they hoping to achieve with all this money poured into AI infrastructure?
Well, from what I gather, it's about making sure the U.S. stays ahead in the AI game. You know how AI needs a crazy amount of computing power, right? These data centers are going to be like the backbone for all that processing. And with all the advancements in AI, they're going to need some serious energy. Hence, the power generation part.
Okay, so it's not just about building bigger computers, it's about building the entire ecosystem to support them. Like building the roads before you can have a bunch of cars driving around.
Exactly. That's a perfect analogy. And it's not just any road, it's like a superhighway. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, he called this project the most important one of this era. That's a bold statement.
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? When you have the head of a major AI company saying something like that. It's not just about the tech anymore, it's about the sheer scale of its impact.
Oh man, this is the cool part. It is going to be a boon for the economy. Think about all the jobs this is going to create. We're not just talking about the engineers and the coders. You've got construction workers, electricians, maintenance crews. It's going to ripple through so many industries.
That's a good point. It's not just tech jobs, it's a whole range of employment opportunities. And with that kind of investment, it could really stimulate local economies, especially where they decide to build these data centers.
And here's the thing about those data centers. They eat up a lot of power. I mean, a lot. I was just reading about this. And some of these centers use as much energy as a small city. It's kind of like, when you have a bunch of gaming PCs running at full blast, multiply that by, like, 1 million.
Wow, I can almost feel the heat coming off of them. So, how does that play into the whole environmental angle? We're always talking about reducing our carbon footprint, and now we're building these energy-guzzling behemoths.
Yeah, that's a major consideration. There's a big push for these centers to use renewable energy. Solar, wind, hydroelectric, the whole deal. It would be great if Stargate could push the envelope on sustainable energy use for AI.
It would be quite something if this project not only advanced AI, but also accelerated our transition to green energy. A 2-for-1 deal for technological progress.
Speaking of progress, did you hear that Trump rolled back Biden's executive order on AI? The one with all the safety and transparency requirements?
I did see something about that. It's a bit concerning, isn't it? I mean, less regulation could mean faster development. But also, where does it leave us with ethical considerations and potential risks?
It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, less red tape could mean these companies can move faster, innovate quicker. But on the other, AI is developing so rapidly, you need those guardrails to make sure things don't go off the rails, so to speak.
It's that classic debate, right? Innovation versus regulation. How do we make sure we're not opening Pandora's box in our quest for technological advancement?
And that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating. It's not just about the tech, it's about how we as a society choose to implement it, choose to regulate it. It's about the future, really.
Speaking of the future, have you tried that new search engine, Perplexity AI? I used it the other day, and it's quite impressive, like a research assistant, and search engine rolled into one.
No, I haven't. What's different about it? Is it better than just Googling something?
Well, it's designed to understand complex questions and give you comprehensive answers. It pulls information from multiple sources and synthesizes it so you get a well-rounded answer with citations and everything.
That sounds pretty useful, especially for getting up to speed on a complex topic quickly. So, it's like having a really smart research assistant at your fingertips.
Exactly. It's another example of how AI is changing the way we interact with information. Which brings us back to Stargate. This is the kind of thing that could be running in those data centers they're planning to build.
It's all connected, isn't it? The infrastructure, the applications, the way we search for information. It's all part of this big AI ecosystem that's being built out.
And we haven't even touched on the international angle. How does this compare to what other countries are doing, especially China? They've been investing heavily in AI as well.
That's a whole other can of worms. China's got its own massive AI initiatives, and they're not slowing down. This could really intensify the global competition for AI dominance. It's like the space race, but for artificial intelligence.
So Stargate is not just about advancing AI, it's also about strategic positioning on a global scale. It's fascinating and a little bit daunting at the same time.
It is, but that's what makes it so exciting. We're right in the middle of this major technological shift, and things are moving so fast. It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Well, Mark, as always, you've given us a lot to think about. It sounds like Stargate is more than just an investment in infrastructure. It's a glimpse into the future of AI and how it's going to shape our world.
I'm just glad I could share my excitement about it. This is going to be huge, Jenny, and we'll be here to break it all down as it happens.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in. Keep sending us your thoughts and questions, and we'll keep exploring this rapidly evolving world of AI together. Until next time, stay curious,